On the scene now to Arizona. Sports teams often the foundation of a city's identity. That emotional attachment between the two is deep and real, and when that relationship is broken, it is often emotional. It happened last night in Tempe. The Arizona Coyotes playing their final home game in front of their fans. They had been there for 28 years. You see, the team couldn't find a new arena. Owners said, the local leaders said, both sides actually pointing fingers at each other. Well, the team now is on its way to Salt Lake City. You saw the banner there, "I will miss you." You can see the tears. Ford Hatchett is with Scripps News Phoenix. He's outside the team's facilities in Scottsdale. We are also joined by Jeff Rainier. He is the sports director for Scripps News Salt Lake City. And Ford, I'll start with you. This decision was a long time in the making. So who is to blame? The fingers are being pointed in both directions. Tell us, who gets the guilty verdict?
Hey, Del. I mean, if you talk to Coyotes fans, they're very eager right now to point the finger at owner Alex Morello. He has owned the team here for the past couple of years and had tried unsuccessfully to build a new arena district in Tempe. That was voted down by voters in that city last May. And then since, he's been trying to find new land for an arena. They're actually going to still plan to bid on state land in June that he's hoping to build a new arena facility. But the National Hockey League eventually said enough is enough. There have been rumors swirling about the Coyotes for years that the fans have had to put up with, and eventually they couldn't wait for a maybe winning a land auction and maybe building the arena and hoping that the timeline goes well. They were playing in a college-sized arena, only 4,500 people inside that arena they're currently playing at in Tempe, and the National Hockey League just said they couldn't put up with it any longer. So I think fans, when you talk to them, are really eager to blame Alex Morello, the owner. We're actually standing outside the Coyotes facility where he's expected to meet with Coyotes employees today and officially break the news that really has already been broken to them via social media. They haven't heard from the owner quite yet, and I think that's led to some of the frustration with owner Alex Morello.
Hey, Ford, I like my sports, but I can't tell you the last time that I ever shed a tear when a team left. I was looking at the images of the fans. They are really taking it hard. What is the reaction from the city and the fans?
It's heartbreak, Del. I mean, it's not a surprise, and I think the thing that struck me is we had multiple generations. You mentioned they've been here 28 years. We saw one family walk in. Dad had a shirt on, said, "We flew back in." They had moved across the country to Boston. They flew back in to be at the game last night. His son had a shirt on that said, "My first Coyotes game" on the front, and on the back it said, "And my last Coyotes game." It's just, you did see some of those tears at the arena, and ticket was a pretty penny to get in the door. We talked to one fan who said that they spent their entire tax return, over $800, trying to get a ticket because they needed to be there to see this team that they grew up with and watched. And I think it speaks to some of the passion for hockey in the desert, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, ice hockey in the desert of Arizona. But these fans took to it, and the Coyotes never were all that successful. Only one real deep playoff run back in 2012. But they really embraced the community, and the community embraced them. And you could see that emotion on folks' faces last night when the realization began to sink in that it was over.
Hey, Jeff, you know all the sports cliches, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. To the victor goes the spoils. Salt Lake City, on the other end of the spectrum, they are about to get a new team and a new league. What's the reaction there?
Yeah, Arizona's loss is Utah's gain, that's for sure. We've been trying to add, or Salt Lake City's been trying to add another professional sports team in Utah for a long, long time. Of course, we have the Utah Jazz, very popular. They sell out all their games. So there's been a large appetite for another professional sports league team to come here to Utah. There's work to bring a Major League Baseball team, and now it's going to be the National Hockey League team with Ryan Smith. We are fortunate enough to have a billionaire who likes to have professional sports teams in Utah. He bought the Jazz a few years ago, and he's been searching for an NHL team ever since then, maybe hoping for an expansion team. But he and his investors were ready and willing when the Arizona Coyotes deal came about a few months ago. And he's been working on that. He even sent out a tweet to Utah fans saying, "What should we name the team if we do get a team?" So yeah, everybody around here is super excited about getting an NHL team, what we might call them, and getting it started. We're starting next season. We're going to have NHL and NBA just about every night downtown Salt Lake City. So that's a lot of excitement here in Salt Lake City.
Hey, Jeff, I don't want to be starting anything, but that's what I do. Great Salt Lake where you are, lots of salt. You're not rubbing any salt in the wound of the people in Tempe, Arizona, are you, right now?
No, I'd never do that to Ford and the lovely people of Arizona, because I obviously was watching last night as well, and it was heartbreaking to see, the tears and the emotions, and they were very real. And I think the people of Utah respect that for sure. But they are excited to get a team here and cheer them on. And I know these players, they're a young team in Phoenix with a lot of young talent. They haven't been great over the last few years, but with the talent they have and the youth, there's a lot of excitement. Kind of, they're in the same position the Jazz are, about ready to move up and be competitors and playoff contenders. And if that happens at the same time as the Utah Jazz, then people are excited. But definitely, there's a lot of emotion going on there in Arizona, and we feel that as well.
Ford, last comment to you.
Yeah, I'd say if there's some real emotion here, and I think these Coyote fans have put up with a lot. Last night at the game, there were even chants of Salt Lake sucks, Salt Lake sucks. And I know that their anger is not really directed at Salt Lake, right? They're bitter about losing a team that they've come to love. And I think there is some bitterness about the fact that they've watched this young group really go through some of the struggles. And I think this team really is ready to take off. And finally, when that success has come, Coyotes fans are a little upset that they're not going to be the ones that get to enjoy it.
You know who the winner is, to tell you the truth? Scripps News. Because we have Jeff Rainier, who is the sports director for Scripps News Salt Lake City, and Ford Hatchett with Scripps News Phoenix, two of the best in the business. Hey, guys, thanks for being with us.
You bet.
You got it.